Welcome back to Forza Horizon 5. Today, we have one of the coolest cars in this game. This is the Mitsubishi Evo Time Attack car. It is built by Sierra, a crazy racing team from the US. And today, we are going to unlock. There we go, and across the line. Sierra Mitsubishi unlocked already. You love to see it. It's got 950 horsepower bone stock, 700 foot-pounds of torque. It is above middle of S2. That's without any upgrade. I just want to show you some of the engineering that went into this car. If any of you are like a fabricator or a welder, that makes you hard. That's insane. This massive rear wing is chassis mounted. You could see it welded to the chassis there. All right, let's go start things off with a sound test, and then we will do some fun facts. I already like it. Like it a lot. As per usual, this wouldn't be an AR12 video without any fun facts about the incredible, the mind-blowing Sierra Evo. Where do you even start with a car like this? I guess I should start with explaining Time Attack. Back in the day, Time Attack, I believe, started out in Japan and then moved its way over to Australia, where this car competed. Time Attack is essentially like qualifying. You do 1 or 2 laps of a circuit to try to set the best lap time that you can. But what makes Time Attack super interesting is how ridiculous the cars are. There are no rules. This ran in the unlimited class, so the guys could do pretty much any upgrades they wanted to with it. And although, yes, it is technically a Mitsubishi Evo, to build this thing, they bought a Mitsubishi Evo and then threw the Evo away and then built this. Nearly every single panel on it is made of carbon fiber. The engine was built by Cosworth. It has a turbocharger that is so large, it probably has its own gravitational field. And it's got so much downforce, you could probably drive it upside down. I'm just going to slow it down a little bit because I just want to tell you how insane this car is. This car was built in America, so when it was doing all of its testing before it went to compete in Australia, they took it to Willow Springs. At the time, the lap record at Willow Springs was like a 122 or something like that. This thing rocked up to Willow Springs, destroyed the lap record. It did a 1 minute 20. I'm gonna list all the cars that this thing is faster than. Porsche 911 GT2 RS, Dodge Viper ACR, McLaren 720S, Lamborghini Huracan Performante, Porsche 918 Spider, Porsche 911 GT3 RS, Corvette Z06, Corvette ZR1. I think you get the picture. And as it turns out, while it was competing, it blew a turbo. It was then shipped back to the United States, where it lived in a warehouse for like 10 years. It was never repaired until only a couple of years ago, where some people found it and then fixed it up, and it finally lives on again. I don't actually know what happens with this car nowadays, if the guys who did fix it up take it to any shows or anything like that. I really hope that they do, because it is outrageous and people need to see this thing. Let's head back to the festival. Let's see what customization we can do to this thing, because I've got a feeling that this is going to be X-Class pretty quickly. No engine swaps available for this thing. I'm probably going to try and drift this thing, so we'll come back to rear-wheel drive in a second, but for now, we're going to stay all-wheel drive. I think for the moment, I want to see if we can get this thing to the top of S2 class. I think that'll end up being the most competitive place for this thing. So let's go and toss some slick racing tires on this. They never even use slick tires in competitions. They only use semi-slick. We have off-road tires, and we even have rally tires, so 100%. We need to go take it off-roading as well. Again, we'll come back to that. I guess we'll make our tires a little bit thicker. I don't know if we're going to get extra horsepower. We'll see. We can upgrade our brakes to true racing brakes and go for like some carbon ceramics, or I don't even know what those are. We've already got race suspension. We've got drift suspension. Again, we'll come back to that. And then last but not least, horsepower. Oh. you actually can't give it any more horsepower. The only power upgrade that you can do is anti-lag. That's a little disappointing. So you can't actually upgrade this thing to X-Class. Are you kidding me? We have exactly the same amount of horsepower. Basically, the only thing we did is give it thicker tires and grippier tires. A little disappointing. I think the off-road builds for this thing are gonna be a lot more fun. We'll see. Actually, you know what? We could even drag race it. It honestly feels like this car was just straight up nerfed, and now people will not be able to take it online. Like, there's no way the off-road builds are gonna be OP for this. I didn't realize the hood had that massive hole. You could straight up see the engine in there. Wait, Coco says this is actually the most powerful Mitsubishi Evo in this game by over 100 horsepower. Why are the Evos just so nerfed in this game? Somebody at Forza doesn't like Evos, huh? I know this might be a bit of a hot take, but if this car was DLC, I would have been so unbelievably annoyed. The fact that it's a free car, I kind of get it, but like, I don't understand why this car has such awful upgrades. Don't get me wrong, the car is still absolutely cracked and super cool. The potential that this car had has been absolutely squashed, and that's so annoying. Anyways, in real life, what's actually kind of crazy about this car is so fast in real life, it'll tear itself apart. You know how, like, usually for a race car, most real life car races are like 30, 40 minutes, maybe an hour usually, if you're doing like sprint racing in real life. One of these cars can only do a handful of laps before tearing itself apart. The car is so brutal and so just violent. The sheer speed of this car just breaks down components in it, and it cannot keep itself together to do more than a couple of laps. It's always been the most mind-blowing part of like time attack cars for me. It's a crazy car. I'm so disappointed. It's a super quick car. We just destroyed all of the cars that we were going head to head with, but hopefully the dirt and the off-road version is better than that. We've got to say goodbye to those racing slick tires and probably hello to the off-road racing tire. I think that'll probably be the best thing for it, but again, still not even going to get above middle of S2 class. I could go in here and give it rally suspension. It looks pretty sick on rally suspension. I don't doubt that it's going to be quick, but it's nowhere near good enough. Congratulations, we saved 1 pound on this thing. Chat, where do we think this thing would be even a little bit quick? If I go cross-country racing, I just very quickly want to see if it's at all good. I'm going up against a rival time on this off-road track. The guy that I'm racing against was the fastest person I had on my friends list. We'll see if we're at all able to put our power down and send it and possibly get a dub here. But look, oh, wouldn't it be nice if we had some horsepower, huh? It's great in the corners, but Jesus Christ, is it slow. It's definitely not the worst car I've ever driven, but it just lacks so much horsepower. Brake. Nice, not a bad landing. 900 horsepower, I'm sorry to say, is not enough. Look at him, he's gone. Now that I think about it, it would probably be way quicker on a circuit with more corners, just because that's all it has going for it. You know the craziest part? The RS200 isn't even the fastest car in cross-country racing like this. I was 10 seconds off the pace. You can say skill issue all you want, but you cannot compete with a, what, 500 horsepower difference? I now know what it feels like to be your parent. I am so disappointed. This car could have been incredible, and it's one of the biggest letdowns that I can remember in recent Forza history. I'm gonna try. I'm determined to get this into S1 class, so I'm gonna need to go rear-wheel drive. I'm gonna need to nerf the tires. You cannot nerf this car to get into S1 class. It really is awful. Drag racing tires, I'm gonna give it lightweight wheels. Bro, watch. With all of these upgrades, it's probably gonna get like a mid-8 quarter mile. This thing's gonna get like a mid-8, maybe a 9-second quarter mile. Away we go. It doesn't even launch that hard off the line. Like, that's not what this car is built for. It's built for going around corners quickly. I'm so disappointed. How do you have a car that has this much potential, that is genuinely this cool, and drops the ball so hard? There is only one thing that we can try with it. We have to go drifting. I've been disappointed by it. I'm gonna go all-wheel drive drifting for it. I want this car to smash a record, and this is the only way it will be able to. I've got the fancy brakes. I've got the fancy suspension. You know what? I'm going to take away the anti-lag. I like the stock anti-lag more than this. Can we have a product placement here now that you're disappointed? Insert skill issue hoodie. This is certainly a skill issue from the developers. Like, let's be honest. Based off what I've seen, there is absolutely no chance that this is going to work. Like, the acceleration is just really slow. Maybe if we could stay in the high RPMs enough to keep it sliding. Oh my God. If this can't drift, I'm gonna be so sad. So sad. Like, there we go. Into the zone we go. Try to run an outside line. That's very nice. Trying to redeem itself. Trying to redeem itself. You can definitely tell it's got mega grip and doesn't really enjoy spinning its wheels. That's mental. Oh, no. I've overcooked it. No, held it. 164, though?
Get the BRZ out of the garage, and I knew that's where you were taking it.
Jay, are you on drugs, bro? It's got a tremendous amount of grip, and trying to overcome that grip by trying to slide it through the corners is very difficult. Here we go. Going quite well. Run it. Big horsepower. Not off the road. That counted. Kept the score going. This is a bit messy, but it's working. Okay, then big angle. Nice. Okay, then keep going. Like, it's not bad, but it's not great either. 230k is a lovely score. It's not a new PB, but it's not the worst. We're 15,000 points off. I think I'm most annoyed by this car. It had such incredible potential, and that potential was just, it's squashed. It's just squashed by the lack of upgrade. It could have been one of the most fun cars in this game, and it just isn't.